Habaragani. And what your response is what today's day is in Kwanzaa. And that's Ujama. Everybody repeat that please, Ujama. So when I say Habaragani, which means what's the news, then you say Ujama. Ujama. Okay, Habaragani. 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 All right, wonderful. Now before we continue, we need to ask the elders if we can continue. Sister Nadia stepped out. Anybody 65 years or older?
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
50 and over. All right, can we get some elders up here?
50 and older,
Come on, this is cooperative economics and unity. So we show the children by example, right?
That's right.
Yes. So we honor our ancestors with Kwanzaa and in this community. And so we ask if we can continue, and then I will pour the libation. Ancestors, first let us greet you. The elders, let us greet you. So say greetings, elders.
Greetings, elders.
May we continue.
May we continue.
Now in the village, the elders would then go and talk with each other to say if we can continue. Do we have your permission? Oh, yes. So we can continue. Thank you so much, elders. And now what I'm going to do is the libation. And our elders water us. And the libation is watering so that we can grow. And we say, for the ancestors who have passed on, we call out their names. So all of you, this is a participation process. So all of you, you call out the people's names who have passed on. Ashe. All, keep calling them out. Call them out. Dr. King, Ashe. Malcolm X. Marcus Garvey. Benjamin Tillman, Ashe. Emmett Till. Ashe. And one big one, who was just Martin Luther King. We say, yes, Ashe. And then we say, Ashe-yo. Thank you. We're going to continue with the youth now.
Habaragani. Ujama. That's right. Ujama. Habaragani. That's right. Ujama means cooperative economics. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a festival, and it's almost like a festival of lights because you light a candle for each day of the, and each day represents a different principle. And so that's why we have the young people here, and we're going to give them different days. So we're going to start this first, and then we're going to, then I'm going to, ooh, I'm sorry, where did you sit? Come on this side, that's all with my hands, and I don't want to hit you. If y'all would slide down, y'all take one step that way. Okay, thank you. Okay, and then we're going to go over what the Kwanzaa display is. So the first day of Kwanzaa, does anybody know what the first day is? That's December 26th. What day is that called? What's the principle? Umoja. Umoja means unity. All right, so we can have someone hold that. So umoja means, and what does unity mean? It means togetherness. Anything else? Family? Okay, so umoja means So Umoja, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, the community, the nation, and in your race. So it's not just unity in your house, your brothers and your sisters and your parents getting along. It's what you do outside of the house, on the school bus, on the playground, in your work, having unity, being together, being one with other people. And the second day of Kwanzaa, anyone know what the second day is? It's a long name, sounds a little funny to your tongue. Oh, what'd you say? She said, wait, hold on, come on over here and say this loud.
Kujichagulia.
That's right, Kujichagulia. And Kujichagulia means self-determination. Who can tell us what self-determination means to them? Yes? You forgot what it meant? That's all right. You want to help her out? Okay, come on, tell us.
It means to take care of the city.
It means to take care of your city? Okay, it does, it does. Anyone else want to help us out? Perseverance. Okay, so you remember what?
Take care of the family.
To take care of your family, that's right. So Kujichagulia is to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves instead of being defined, named, created for, and spoken for. So if anyone ever calls you outside of your name, if your name is, what's your name right here? Sincere? Nasir. So if anybody ever calls you anything other than Nasir, and it's not a good name that represents you, then you say, no, that's not who I am, because that's not the name you were given, that's not who you're living up to. If anyone ever calls you anything other than a young prince, a young king, that's not who you are, okay? So you don't have to take what other people tell you. If anyone calls you anything other than a bright young man, a bright student with a bright future, who can build cities and create anything, that's not who you are, so you don't have to take what other people call you, okay? So it is to take care of yourself, and in taking care of yourself, you take care of your family, because you can't care for anybody unless you care for yourself first, okay? All right, so our third day, which was yesterday, anyone know what that day is? What? You can't, I don't know why you keep forgetting, that's all right, because we're going to help you. It's Ujima. Can you say Ujima? Ujima. Okay, we also have somebody hold Ujima. Ujima is collective work and responsibility. Who can tell us what that means? Okay, hold on, let's see if someone else can. No? Okay, what does collective work and responsibility mean?
Clean up.
There we go, it means to clean up. You want to say
It means to clean up the city and keep your city clean.
Okay, that's right. So Ujima, collective work and responsibility. To build and maintain, they said clean, maintain our community together and make our sisters and brothers' problems our problems and try to solve them together. Okay, so we are our brothers and sisters keepers. So being here today, we have vendors over here, we have people who are going to come and perform and doing things. So it means, how can I help you? How can I support my community? What can we do collectively to build each other up? Because if I build you up, then you build me up. If he builds me up, then I build him up. So it all works together, all right? And today, what was today again? Ujama, no, today. Ujama, that's right. And that means cooperative economics. So what is cooperative economics? Yes, sir. That's right. Owning our own stuff like our stores. What else? Okay, that's great. Yes, ma'am. Right, backing one another, supporting one another. That's right, because you have to, let me ask you a question. How many of you all have a garden, and yes, within our community, how many of you have a garden in your backyard? Like where you grow fruits and vegetables. You got an apple tree. How many of you all have cows in your backyard where you can like have your own meat? Chickens? No? How many of you all have like silkworm plants so y'all can spin some silk and make your own clothes? Nobody? Oh my goodness. So that means you have to get it from somewhere else, don't you? And so if someone else in your community or in your neighboring community has what you need, you're going to purchase it, right? If it's a good quality. So you're going to support them, have our own stores, support our own stores, okay? And support each other. So that's what cooperative economics is. All right, our next day, which is tomorrow, is Nia. Anybody's here name is Nia? Is anyone's name Nia here? There's not a Nia in the house. That's all right. Nia means purpose, okay? And what does purpose mean? Having a reason to be here. What were you going to say? Oh, your meaning, that's right. And so right here it says, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Do you know you have greatness inside of you? Do you all know that? Everybody has greatness inside of us, okay? We have seeds of amazing greatness inside of us. All right, so that's Nia. And our sixth day is Kuumba. You all say Kuumba? Kuumba means creativity. So someone tell me what creativity is. Yes, ma'am. Come on up here. Just off slow.
Creative.
Being creative. So how can we create? What's one way we can create? We can draw. That's right. What is another way we can create? Yes. We can paint. All right. Yes. Be an artist and what? Keep your time and stay focused. That's right. That is creative. Because if you're just creative and you're all over the place and you're not focused, you're not creating everything. You're not creating anything. Okay. Oh, we got a few hands here. Yes, ma'am.
Create whatever you're building.
Create whatever you're building. That's right.
Make stuff about your culture.
There we go. All right. Okay. So creativity says to do always to do always as much as we can in the way that we can. So that means everyone doesn't do the same thing. Not everyone was given the same gifts and talents and abilities, and that's okay. We have a sister over here, and she makes great jewelry. We have a sister, well, the sister's right here, and she writes books and does poetry, and that's great. So you're supposed to do what you can, okay, the best that you can, in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited. Yes, sir. Come on, all right. Jump in. Wait, what you got to say, baby? Creativity. What do you want to say?
You can use your imagination to create stuff too.
Exactly. All right. And the last day is Imani. Anyone's name Imani in here? What, your name is Imani? It is? Okay. And what does Imani mean? What does Imani mean? Hold it up. Imani means faith. What does it mean to have faith? Love. Okay, what else? Believe. That's right. Faith means to believe. So to believe and love. So to believe with all your heart in our people, in our parents, our teachers, and our leaders, and their righteousness, and the victory over our struggle. We struggle daily. Some struggles are really small, like what should I wear today? What do I want to eat? Okay, I can't tie my shoes. Other struggles are a lot bigger, and they take a little longer to figure out. But we have faith. We believe that we are going to overcome, right? Okay, so these are our 7 principles. And you all hold them up. All right, let's give them a hand. Okay, and so if I can have everyone sit down except for you, sweetie. I think you have today. Yeah. Okay, everybody sit down except for her. Thank you. So for Kwanzaa, every day we light a candle for the days that it is. So we start with our unity candle. Black is for the color of our people. And then we alternate between red and green. So our second one was Kuji Chagalia. Our third day yesterday was Ujima. And today is Ujama. So these are our candles. This is our candle holder, our kinara. I'm going to tell you all that's on our table. So we have, first of all, we have our fruit. Our fruit comes from the land, and it's our harvest, our agriculture. And this is called our mazada, okay? Next we have our placemat that's made out of straw. It's our foundation. And this is a makeka. Then we have, again, our candle holder. We have gifts here, and our gifts celebrate our commitment to our children and who we believe they're going to be and what they're going to bring forth from themselves through us. One of the things that we do not have is our corn, but our corn represents our children. Why would you think corn on the cob would represent children? Yes, ma'am.
Because you have the cob is one part, and all of the pieces of corn is our children and our family together collected on that one cob.
Okay, very good. And then what happens when we get a little, when the corn kernels, when our children get a little heat? When the corn kernel gets a little heat, it does what?
Wow.
It pops, and so our children bloom and blossom. Okay, so don't look at corn on the cob or popcorn again the same. Okay, don't look at it the same. And next we have our unity cup, our kumbacha umoja, and our umoja means what? Unity. So this is our unity cup. Okay. And then we have our 7 candles. We have our colors. As I said, black is for our people, the color of our people. Green is for the fertilization, for the growth in our harvest. And then red is for the blood, the richness of our people, and that we're going to continue. So I thank you all. Yep, I think we have everything. I thank you all. We're going to continue on. So you all can
Good job.
let's give our young people a hand.
These 2 young ladies, could you please come up? Lisa. And could you tell our people here, our friends here, who I am in relationship to you?
Sister Nandi is our aunt. Our parents have been friends, 5th grade? Since the 5th grade? Long time.
I'm 75.
That's right, since 5th grade. And see, this is what the power of family and love. Not all family is by blood. This is my aunt just as much as if we had the same blood. Okay? My sister Brenda.
And this is part of our community. And we respect and honor our elders. And we listen because they have wisdom. And so we honor Sister Nandi. We're coming from Atlanta, Georgia, to share with Kwanzaa with you. And this is a wonderful opportunity. And I'm so happy that all of you are together and in unity and on purpose, because we always have to be purposeful. All right, and this is our community. So we say Habar Gani? Habar Gani means what's the news, and your answer is the day Ujama.
Abaragani!
Ujama.
Abaragani!
Ujama.
Say it like you mean it. Abaragani!
At this point, I'm just going to share something with you. Drums mean a lot to our culture. Drums, can you repeat after me? When I say it, then I need you to repeat. Drums is the heart of our culture.
Drums is the heart of our culture.
Drums is what?
The heart of our culture.
We are going to bring the heart of our culture in this room. They will be coming from Hartford, Proud, Drum, Drill, and Dance. Umba, in collaboration with our funders, Jocelyn Pleasant, has come through Sankofa to teach the traditional drums and mixed it with the drumline drums. Drums are the beat of our culture. So as we raise the rhythm a little higher so our dancers can demonstrate Cuckoo, the celebration dance.
My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I do business as Light Source Productions. I provide professional services in the area of strategic video communications. First, what we do is we help you craft your message using what I call the rule of the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. We do event documentation, content acquisition, full-scale productions, editing, and of course distribution through our social media television network. And with social media, video is more important now than it has ever been. Whether you're talking big business, small business, nonprofit, church, or just an individual. Let's say you plan you're planning an event, a wedding, whatever the case may be. But let's say a big event, but no video. And you spent all this time, all these hours to put this event on, and maybe 100, 200 people attend the event. But more important than that is that thousands could attend by watching it on social media. But of course, you don't think about this until after the event is over. You can't afford not to capture it for social media. And despite what people think, I am affordable. Give me a call. Let's plan your next video project and share it with the world on my social media television network. I promise you that you will have the attention of one person, me.
Well, actually, I want to give it up for them dancers and drummers one more time. That was amazing. And you know, while there's always something negative to say about our young people, look what God has produced. If that doesn't give us hope in our community, see? So, you know, I do a lot of work with young people. I was just telling somebody this morning, last week, I gave away 500 books to children in the North End. And that went from kindergarten all the way up to middle school. And then in the afternoon, I work with some 12th graders from around the city. And one of the things that I shared with the young folks that I'm working with, because I like to try to get us all on the same page. Because if we all on the same page, brother, we can do some work. You agree? So there's something that I teach all of my students. It's called the Student Creed. And this Student Creed is something that we use. I don't like being attached, other than my wife, but I don't like being attached. Okay. Eyes free. Okay. So almost free. Uh-oh. Okay, all right. So the Student Creed is something that we teach young people because we understand that school's job, the school has the responsibility of reading, writing, and arithmetic. And pretty much their job is to raise the IQ of our students. Somebody say IQ. IQ. But understand that the flip side of that is something that we call the EQ, and that is the emotional quotient. And that has to come from home. That has to come from community. But you say, where do our people go to learn the culture? Where do our people go to learn who they are? And that's a very hard question to answer. And so we teach the Student Creed to help our children understand who they are. So we're going to use an African tradition. It's called call and response. I will do the call. That means that you will do the response. All right, it's a good crowd. I like this. All right, so let's give it a shot. You repeat after me. I am a student. No. And brother, we don't blame nobody else. We take responsibility. That's somebody's child over there. But that's also our child, ain't it? That's right. See? And so when one of us used to act out, your mother didn't have to be the one to straighten you out. We said, young man, get yourself together. And the men, I said the men, backed up that word. Let me get back to what I was saying. I'm sorry. It's on my soapbox for a minute. Let's try it again. I am am a student.
I am a student
Seeking to be a scholar.
seeking to be a scholar.
The standard is excellent.
The standard is excellent
Today and tomorrow.
today and tomorrow.
I'm disciplined, focused, and on time.
I'm disciplined, focused, and on time.
I'm organized, respectful, and responsible.
I'm organized, respectful, and responsible.
I'm on a mission
I'm on a mission
to elevate myself,
to elevate myself,
my community,
my community,
and humanity.
and humanity.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And Ashe is an African word that means let it be so. Give yourself a round of applause. And so we have probably taught that to close to 1,000 children in the city of Hartford. That's right. I have little kindergartners that can quote that off the top of their head. First graders that raise their hand to be the first one to say it. Second and third graders that have turned it into a rap song. And so our young people, I want to say this, I want to be very serious about this. How many of you believe that we need an improvement in our community? Raise your hand. Our community needs an improvement? See, actually all your hands should be up and some legs, like, okay? But we live in a city that's only 18 square miles. That's right. It's not a big city. It's a little city. Situated 2 hours from New York, 2 hours from Boston, right? A city that is 18 square miles and a large part of it is park. We can get this city straight, yes, no? Yes. Clap your hands if you think we can. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So we're going to move on with our program. And sister, I'm going to tell you, I don't have my glasses. Oh, okay, then we're moving right on with our program. Praise God. Okay, so we are going to have a panel discussion with some of our young people. They are actually in a career development program called the Promise Zone. And it is actually headed by the Blue Hills Civic Association. So I'm going to call a few of our youth leaders up that are going to be sitting in on the panel. Come on up. Come on up. And as they come up, give them a round of applause.
Say something.
Hello?
So when you're talking, see, I'm standing right here, you can talk right into the mic. Okay? Same thing, you just have to face the mic.
right. Did they do I go, I made it? Yes. So when I say I go, you say? Amen. I'm going to give you a C- on that. Let's see if we can get up to a B. When I say I go, you say? Amen. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So we're going to hear from a couple of our youth leaders. Before we do that, if you are in the Promise Zone Career Development Program with Blue Hills Civic Association, please stand up. Please stand up. I don't know why they're over in that corner, but that's another story.
Because we love this corner.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, one of the things that Hartford has the distinction of is that they received a federal designation for something called the Promise Zone. And the Promise Zone, currently, I believe there are about 13 in the entire country. And what allows you, your city, to get a Promise Zone designation is that your community really has to be in some dire condition. All right? So Hartford received the Promise Zone designation not because we were doing the best in education, not because we were doing the best in jobs and economics, not because we were doing the best in terms of health, and surely we were not doing the best in terms of public safety or violence in our community. But because we were hitting these areas at such a low point, we received the Promise Zone designation, which allows those who are working and would like to work, thank you very much. See, okay, there we go, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so what it allowed is that those who are working in the community, nonprofit organizations and so forth, when they go after grant money, they actually receive extra points for doing work inside the Promise Zone. And so organizations like Blue Hills Civic Association and other folks are working very hard to address these issues in the community, all right? Now, these young people and all of the young folk that you saw stand up represent the hope of our community. I'm going to say it again. They represent the hope of our community. And so it is imperative that we help them. All of these young people that you saw standing up are going to college. Yeah, and I'm going to say this. Because my young people, I have a contract with them. I tell them that there's 3 ways I can give them information, right? I can lie to them, sugarcoat it, or keep it a buck, as they like to say. Right? Keep it real, Mr. Lovejoy. And so we strive to keep it real in our program, all right? So, you know, we as the adults have to take the responsibility to make sure that the young people have what they need in order to succeed. Yes? Wonderful. All right. So I got about 3, 4 questions that I want to pose to our young people, and let's see where it goes. Number 1, what is it like to be a youth in the city of Hartford in 2016? We're going to start off. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Rafael Santiago, a community leader. What I think about what it's like to be a youth in Hartford in 2016 is basically it's tough. It's hard and difficult when you're young and you have to wait to a certain amount of age to actually apply for a job, or you don't have enough resources, you know, to look for a job where you can improve, show your skills, show what you know. Or sometimes you're not given a chance at all to show who you are as a youth and what you can do as a young person.
That's right. All right. Okay. Moving on. Yes.
Same question.
Same question.
Hello, my name is Vicky Milledge. I'm a student at Simsbury High School. I'm 17 years old. Growing up as a youth in Hartford, for me, is realizing you have to remain focused no matter what's around you. We grew up in a community full of drugs, poverty, bad housing, and if we're going to have any chance to make this community better, that means we have to stay on the right track as the youth of this community and do what we have to do to make it better.
All right. Wonderful. Moving right along.
My name is Joyce Figueroa. I'm 17 and I go to SIBA. And as a youth in 2016 that lives in Hartford, I am both proud and fearful. I fear that the people my age won't get together as a community and build ourselves up. But I'm also proud that this generation is so fearless in a way. We stand up for our rights and we work together once we set a goal. So, you know, I'm proud, but I'm scared sometimes.
All right.
My name is Tariq. I go to Weaver. I'm 18, and what it's like to live in Hartford. Being here for pretty much most of my life, I'd say it's like a survival quest, a little bit. But from what I learned, in pretty much my 18 years of life, is that it's one thing to work alone and do certain change, but it's another thing you can work with a group of people who are like-minded, and you can change pretty much the world.
That's right. All right. Okay. Now, you know, many times it's hard for us to get young folks to talk. Is that right? I don't think we're going to have that problem today. Okay. So our next question is, of the 6 areas of concern in the Promise Zone, and those areas of concern are education, health, jobs and economics, housing, public safety, also known as violence. Which is most important to you and why?
I mean, to me, all of them are important. There's not, you know, one less or one more. All of them are important. But the most to me that sticks out is public safety and violence, jobs and education. Our educational system is not as good as we supposed to have it to be like. Right now, in our educational system, we having people who only come just to show what they learn, but not to show us what we can learn and what we can do. Our public safety, our Hartford police, you know, citywide, we not having the connection that we need to have with the police as we should. Our community people are feared to talk to a cop, to talk to a security guard, just because of the fact that we may look different from them, but they treat us different from who they are. And that's something that, one of the most important things that we need to change in our community. Jobs. A lot of the jobs are being taken from people who are not even Hartford residents. But yeah, they come from outside to take our money, and then they talk about Hartford residents don't fulfill. Well, if you're taking our money, you're taking our job, how can we become successful?
All right. All right. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
When looking at what's the most important concern, I would say health. And when I'm speaking health, I'm not just talking about physical, I'm focusing on your mental health.
Mm-hmm. Speak right into the mic, your sister. Yeah.
Growing up in a minority neighborhood, in a minority household, we're taught to put mental health on a back burner. We're taught to toughen up and handle the situation, face on and do what we have to do no matter what. Right now, it's important that we take care of our mental health and make sure we are healthy in our minds in order to act correctly in society. Because if we gave mental health to our youth and taught them what they deserve, and we taught adults what you should teach your children what they deserve, their mindset to be in the right place to give back to this community. They'll have the right mindset to go to school and get their education. They'll have the right mindset to realize the only thing holding us back is ourselves. We have to get together and work together.
All right. All right.
I think that of the 6 areas, the most important is education. We can focus on just the 6 subjects that they teach us in school, you know, English and math, but we also need to learn about our culture, our background. Because if we know where we've been and if we know where we come from, we know where we can go. We know what we can do. And to teach our youth that, and also to teach the adults in our community that they need to teach our youth that, I think that's empowering. That's what will help us.
All right.
What's important to me is, out of all 6, are pretty much 2, education and jobs. Without an education, most people know that you won't either get the job you want or a well-paying job from the job. See, this program, especially during the summer, we figured out different things. We were at different sites. the site I was at, we were learning how to handle the media, social media. So I can take that, put that on a resume, and a job will call me better than the next person who ain't doing nothing with their life. So to keep it just real 100, is just you gotta educate yourself. Most people out here know they can go to YouTube or something. YouTube ain't gonna really do too much, but you need to learn how to manage your checkbooks or budget for the month, or figure out how to pay your rent, your car note, your internet, all that other stuff. You gotta go to school and figure it out on your own, and try to go to somebody who's older than you and know how to do it.
All right. I'd like to give you just some quick statistics regarding this thing called the Promise Zone. Number one, we're talking not about the entire city of Hartford. We're actually only talking about 3.11 square miles of the city. So we're talking about Northeast, which is where we're located now, Clay Hill, and Upper Albany. Now the thing about these areas of town, or areas of our city, is that it says the average income inside the Promise Zone is $12,000 a year. I want that to sink in for a second. Because $12,000 a year, that's about $1,000 a month, yes? How much is rent? You know what I'm saying? Okay? And don't talk about the cable bill. Anybody got kids they got to feed? That's $1,000 a month right there. All right? It also says that approximately 50% of the adults in the Promise Zone have a high school diploma. Yeah. And so again, looking at what the opportunity is for our young people to be part of a program that will help jumpstart them and get them the type of education that then hopefully, good people, they'll come back and work here in the city of Hartford, is a major opportunity. Yes, no? Yes. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So this next question is for our young people, our panel. And can we give it up for them again, please? Doing a fantastic job. Our next question says, what are your future plans in terms of career? College, career, can you talk a little bit about that, please?
My future plans, and it's something that I've been building up for the past 6 years since I put my foot up in high school. My career will be in office. I want to run this city of Hartford. I want to make different changes that have not been brought to the city of Hartford as yet. A lot of the time we hear politics that they promise and promise and promise, but they haven't made any of the changes that they say they talk about that they're going to make. I want to major in political science. After I go to a 2-year college, by that time that will be election time, so I'll be preparing myself to run for city council. One of the things that I'm looking at if I get elected is the economy, jobs, and how your tax dollars are spent. One of the things that I'm going to focus is majoring is saving our First Amendment. We're not treated equally. We're not being given what we need to be given. There's no unity. There's no working together here in the city of Hartford, and I'm willing to change that. And that's not a promise. That's a guarantee that I will change it.
Oh, man. I might be sitting next to the mayor over here. All right. Thank you very much. Yes.
My plan for my future is currently to be a student at Brown University is my plan for college. I also want to major in political science and Africana studies, and I want to minor in neurology. My plan to utilize these degrees is to first understand our mindset in order to better help the people around us and to better get outside of our community to get the help we need inside of it. Because no matter if you have lending hands here, we need hands outside, and that's where I plan to contribute into this community.
Thank you very much.
So, right now, the plans for my future would be to graduate high school this year. Big goal. Then I would love to go to Capital Community College, right in our backyard, get an associate's degree, head on to a 4-year college, through the CAPS program. That way I'll get a full ride into UConn, as long as I can keep a 3.2 GPA, and I'm sure I can do that. I want to be a political science major and a minor furthering into sociology. Now, with that major, I would love to get a job as a lobbyist. That way I could work in the legal system, working towards things that will help our community, not just the big states in the United States. We don't want to just focus on what's going on in Washington, D.C. What about Hartford?
All right. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
To be honest, I have many ventures in my career plan, but the main one is to study the the stock market. And the reason being is because if I can learn that, then I can come back and teach anybody. So eventually, if possible, we can bring back Black Wall Street.
All right now. So you see what we got up here, right? A little bit of politics, all right? We got some mental health going on. We got some lobbying going on. And then Black Wall Street. Let's give it up one more time for our student panel. At this time, family, we're going to start to wrap this up. And then if you should have any questions, we'd like to entertain those questions. But the question is, what have you learned thus far that sticks out in your mind from the YES program that you are enrolled in? What have you learned thus far from the YES program?
What I have learned in this program ever since, I stepped foot into the YES program is that no matter how difficult, no matter how bad the situation is, if you have a mindset and if you face yourself in a life and death situation, you must make a choice. And if you don't find yourself in a life and death situation, then there's no choices. In order to be successful, you have to make a choice. You have to set yourself for a goal, and you have to ask yourself how bad you want to be successful in this tough city. This city at this point is to a point where for you to even have a small business, you have to go through tons. And sometimes when you go through all of those kind of stuff, they still want to find more to keep you back from building what you want to build. But the trick of this is working together, believing in yourself, setting yourself a mindset and a goal. It will be the only 3 things that is going to help you move forward in this tough city today.
Learned from this program is simply 2 things, and that is talk is cheap. A lot of people speak on wanting to help their community. A lot of people speak on wanting to be successful while sitting at home on their couches. If you're going to be successful, you have to get up off your butt and go to work, because nothing's going to be handed to anybody in here.
All right.
Secondly, I've learned is that I can't be a victim to the environment I'm in. I may be growing up in Hartford and there's a lot of things against me, and there's a lot of people who don't think I'm going to be able to be who I am going to be, but I know that if I get up and I put myself to anything, I can do it.
Through the Promise Zone Yes program, I have definitely learned that the stereotype of inner city students has been debunked millions of times, and it should not exist at this point, because the people up here and the people sitting over there, we are educated youth in this community, in a community that is impoverished, in a community that people from just a couple miles south, west, north, they're just the same as us, and they'll still keep telling us that we can't do things, but all of us are proving them wrong. We will prove them wrong, and we just have to believe in ourselves, set that in our minds that we can do this, because if we don't know that, then it'll never happen. I think that's what the program has definitely taught me.
All right.
What I've learned is that communication is everything. If you can't communicate with your neighbor, then how you gonna get things done? I can't, like, that's like asking somebody something that they wouldn't even know about. One of my favorite words my mom used to say is, I can't read your mind. So might as well just talk to somebody. If you got like a plan, talk to somebody who can help you get that plan done. And if you can't do that, then why you even have the plan in the first place?
Let's give it up for our young leaders and youth panel. So, you know, we entitled this Speak Up and Speak Out. And what I said to the young people is that, you know, this is your opportunity to speak truth to power. And unfortunately, you know, we don't hear enough from our young people. We really don't. And so what I would like to do is give the adults or the young people that's out there, I'd like to give you the opportunity to ask a question of the next generation. Let me say it again. I want you to ask a question of the next generation. If you look here, you have had young people who have given you a whole lot of information about what they want to do with the future. So now we put the mic out to the audience. Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay, we can come on. Okay, we're gonna come on out here, maybe with the mic.
Tell me, in your teaching, how many of you have seen hidden colors?
Hidden color.
Okay, none of you. Do you feel that your teaching from K, all of you are in college, correct? Or at least high school?
High school.
Okay. Are you satisfied with the level of teachers that have taught you? Or would you like to see something different? Can each one of you address that? Your experience and the teachers that you have had up to high school.
For me, I was a student at a Hartford school before I switched to Simsbury, and I've experienced two sides of the coin on an education. And I realized from leaving my Hartford education is that we're not giving the same opportunities, the same knowledge. When I went up to Simsbury, I was told in order to graduate, I had to take a financial literacy class. There's no other option. So you're either going to know how to spend your money or you're not going to graduate. They don't have that in Hartford schools. In my school, my history is taught as an elective. It's not a topic that we're going to go over for months. It's Black History Month for 1 week, and we're going to look at pictures of people that look just like me being represented as slaves. And that's not all that my people were.
All right.
Sister Nandi, thank you for that question. I mean, I've been dying for months and years for somebody to come to me and ask me that type of question. Can Hartford education be better? Yes. Can the people that are running the Hartford education can do better? Yes, they can. They just choose not to they just choose not to do it, because here's the problem. They coming from the suburbs, and they've been paid to come into Hartford not to help us learn, just to come get the money and bring it back to the suburbs.
All right.
That's why we're not getting the education, we're not getting it. Now, we have a lot of people in the Board of Ed that are the same colors as us. They've been through what we've been through here in Hartford. See, but once they get in a certain level of power, they forget where they came from. So now they're acting as minority, they're trying to pretend they're minorities, but they are suburbs people in our colors, personality. So that we have a lot of pretenders in the Hartford Board of Ed who should be looking out for us, but they're looking out for the suburbs.
All right. All right. Ooh. It's going deep now.
To be honest, like Vicky, I came from a different school. Oh, all right. Like Vicky, I came from a predominantly white school. Well, I started here in Hartford, and then I moved down to Florida, and I went to a predominantly white school, so I saw also the both sides of the teaching. And Florida will get taught not just black history, but history of not only our country, but other countries as well. But when we come here, we don't really we get political history, but we don't get our own history. We don't get African history. We don't get the countries well, let's say, for my school, since I go to Weaver, I may get like a history from a different country, like a Spanish country, like Puerto Rico or Mexico or Dominican Republic, but we don't get that soul type history. So, also, let's bring it to the story. When I first came back, I knew more than what a Hartford student would know because I was so far ahead. In a suburb school, they'll teach you maybe 3 times as much, but when you get here, you're like 4 steps back. So I'll be sitting in class like, hold up, y'all just learned this? I learned this 3 months ago. 3 years ago. Exactly, 3 years ago. So we gotta figure it out.
Yes,
you gotta
sir.
work on it.
All right. Let's give it up for brother.
I, just like my peers, started off at a school in Hartford. I started off high school at Hartford Public High School. And my freshman year, I transferred to the Connecticut IB Academy. My school is focused on international relations and an open-mindedness of all people. So in my school, I not only learned about my background as a Latina, I didn't just learn about that. I learned about Africa, where we all originated from. You know, I didn't just learn about white Americans, white Europeans, everybody who colonized us. I didn't just hear that all my ancestors were slaves. I heard that, hey, you have people who were powerful, people who can be considered kings and queens, and that you should follow in their footsteps. You shouldn't just think about your ancestors and the people before me as slaves, people who have been oppressed, but we should think about MLK, we should think about Henry Thoreau, we should think about Malcolm X. We should see all of these people pop up in our head and think, hey, they're people like me, and I can do what they did. I can create change. You know, so I think that schools in Hartford, we need that. I go to school in East Hartford. It's not that far from here, but why am I so ahead of those here? Why am I so conscious to other things that those in Hartford are just not being taught? Like, there's this boundary that I have crossed as a minority student in Hartford that those who stayed here didn't get to see. We should bring it back. If we know this, then we should bring it back. We should have these discussions, and we should teach all of these young ones here that, hey, you can change the world, and you can do different things. You don't have to be this oppressed inner city student. You can be this inner city student changing the inner city and the world beyond the inner city.
This is more of a state. I wasn't going to speak, but I'm inspired by these young people on the panel and here. And so I want to talk to the young people right now. You said something about if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. It took 400 and some odd years to get us into the place where we are now. There's a scripture that comes to mind that says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. The mind is a very powerful thing. We are enamored by cell phones and iPads and the latest technology, forgetting that it was a mind. Matter of fact, it was a black man that invented the cell phone. And so it took, and I don't know if you're never heard of the Willie Lynch letters, and you're 21 and younger in this room, you need to get them, because it was a blueprint on how to make a slave. A slave is not someone that just has physical shackles on them. They have been shackled and imprisoned in their own mind. I dare to say that a man can be behind physical bars and still be free, but if you imprison him in his mind, it doesn't matter if you remove the bars, he's still a prisoner or he's still a slave. But I'm excited, even in the present atmosphere and the political environment that we are in right now with Mr. Trump in office, because I've often said that sometimes we need Goliaths in order for Davids to arise. And so I want to encourage the youth. This is the age of information. They can no longer keep the truth from us or from you. And so, whereas you may not get it in school, or your parents were stripped of it, or their great-grandparents and their great-grandparents were stripped of it, now all you got to do is Google or YouTube. And so I would encourage you, ask why. And when somebody gives you an answer, ask why again. Go and do the research. Many in here don't even realize that it wasn't even called Africa. It was Scipio Africanus was a Roman emperor, and that's who the land was named, but it used to be called Al-Kebulam. And the older maps called the whole continent Ethiopia. And before that, it was Cushites and Hamites. So everything about you is not about you. And so you need to go back and do the research and find out where you came from and who you are, so that you'll know where you're going. And don't take it verbatim that just because somebody has been placed in a position of authority over you, that they know everything. Because they too have been indoctrinated. And you can't even get angry at them because it was done without malice. And so it is up to us as a people, individually and collectively, to pull up our own bootstraps. We cannot depend on anybody else in this present environment. We're going to have to depend on each other, and we're going to have to depend on ourselves individually. So I want to encourage you, keep on pressing.
All right, let's give it up for Brother Marcus. We got a couple of hands. Somebody, if you got a couple of hands, that's right. We're going to start here, and then, yes.
Giving your view of what you have learned over time.
What is it that you feel you can do to help those who are younger than you? Because believe it or not, you will and are a role model for those who are younger than you. What would you want to do, or what would you want to teach the younger ones?
All right. Good question. Yes.
Thank you for the question. And as a young person, me growing up, if you look at me, you say, "Oh, he has the easiest life." Well, you know, that's what my image represents, you guys. But if I sit here and I tell you how I came up steps and steps and steps, you will be looking at me and your mouth will fall down the ground, because as somebody who's standing here in a suit, I came from poverty as well. I did not have the childhood that a lot of people had today. While a lot of people were opening gifts, I was over there collecting cans in order for me to get some food into my table. I did not have the mother and son relationship that a lot of you had when you were younger. I did not have that. I don't even know who my father is. Because of the bad life that my father gave my mom, She took that out on me and said I was never going to be a nobody, but now she's dependent on me.
Go ahead, brother.
When I was growing up, I told myself, you know, I looked myself into the mirror, and every day I would tell myself, I will not let anybody else who had the same experience as I have go down any further. As I'm growing up and as I step foot into the school, into Hartford, I told myself, what I went through, I'm not going to let nobody else go through. So the answer to your question is if I'm able to do something, will be educate these young people that are growing up, mentor them, give them the idea that they need to be given that has been hidden from a long time. We need to teach these young people that they're not too old, they're not too young to learn the truth. A lot of people in this city talk about confidentiality, but when they tell you about confidentiality, they're telling you, well, I'm not going to tell you what's going to help you be successful. I'm going to tell you what you're going to get stuck on.
All right.
We need to tell these young people that they have the ability, that they have the knowledge, that they have the potential to do what they know how to do best. And there's something I'm in support of, is the young ladies. Young ladies are growing up now. A lot of the young ladies back in the day did not have the rights that they have now. So we must take advantage of our young men now and our young women most importantly. Y'all need to take advantage of the opportunity that has been given to y'all. One of the things that I say, and I always tell young ladies, what the man can do good, the woman can do better.
All right.
And that's something as a leader in the community, as a student at Weaver High School, because I go to Weaver High School and I actually hold my diploma back because Weaver High School was doing terrible in terms of education. Our SAT score were in the ground. This year I decided to hold my diploma back and talk to the principal and said, we need a better principal. We need somebody that's going to actually raise the bar in here. Our SAT score just went up by 30 points this year.
All right.
And that's just the beginning of it.
All right.
If we show the example to these young people, this young lady, that we united can do and be successful, we will change our young people community. A lot of the young people today, they know how to read, they know how to write, they know how to do math, but they haven't given a chance for them to sit down and say, let me prove to you what I can do. And that's what we need to show these young people, that they have the power to do it. When I was I came to Weaver when I was 13, and they told me, you're not allowed to do this. Well, I'm going to show you that I am allowed to do it.
All right.
At the age of 13, my freshman year, I was running a Spanish and English club because they didn't have any Latino teachers to teach the Latino kids how to speak Spanish. I had a group of West Indians, I had a group of black and white learning Spanish, and I had Puerto Ricans all over the place learning Spanish. So it's not about your age, it's not about who you are, it's what you can do. If you show the people that you can do what you know how to do best, and you sit back and you let them control you, you won't get nowhere. There's two types of things, and I'm going to end it up with this. There's liberty and there's freedom. A lot of people have not looked into the meaning of liberty and freedom. When you have liberty, a lot of people you have a white person making decisions for you. But if you look into the freedom and you find the definition of freedom in a black person or a Puerto Rican person, it's having the ability to make the decisions on your own and knowing that you're going to be successful later on. So that's why we need to change. We need to stop letting other people that have higher power than us making decisions for us and start making decisions for ourselves. But we need to make sure we're on the right track to do that. And that starts by our elders. We have to start by our elders, so that way our youngest that are watching us, they take the same route as we do.
All right. We're going to have Ralph come back. He on fire. Okay, yes, ma'am.
For me, when it comes to the youth, it's mostly focusing on the young ladies. When I look in the media, I don't see many people that look like me. And if they do look like me, they're not walking around with afros in positions of power. But I know I have an afro under this. And I know when I walk out in public every day, I have my afro showing proud. So to the young ladies, I encourage you to love yourselves, because no one else will be able to love you until you do. Currently, I am a 17-year-old track runner for Central High School. And by me doing this, I'm not running for myself. I'm not running because I like to take first. I'm running because I know I'm going to get on TV and there's going to be a little girl who's going to see me when she's scrolling to CPTV.
All right. All right.
So when I'm saying to the young girls, it's not that you have to go outside and now that the media is telling you you're supposed to twerk in order to get attention. You don't have to do that 24/7, because if you speak correctly and you make a presence when you walk into the room, regardless if it's a male looking at you, someone in a position is going to look at you and deem you worthy of everything you're going to get in your life.
All right. All right, thank you.
So I just encourage that as a whole, we need to teach the young women self-love. Because once the women are strong and they're able to be the backbone, men are going to follow, because they're going to want to go wherever the female's going.
All right.
So I think when it comes to youth, that we need to teach them that they are beautiful and that they are powerful. Because small story. When I was walking down the street, walking down Main Street, there was this little girl, and she had a little bag of like plastic bottles that she was just picking up off the ground. And she goes and she sees me walk past. My hair was flat ironed at the time, and she tells me, "Your hair is so beautiful." And I would look at her little fro, and I was like, "Your hair is beautiful. This right here is a simulation that I need to stop." And I stopped flat ironing my hair, and it was all right. But I think that's what we need to teach. We need to teach our youth that they are beautiful the way that they are. Whether you are collecting bottles to try to earn some cash, you are beautiful and you are working towards success. I used to pick up bottles with my grandmother so that we could go take it to the recycling place, get like $1, and then go spend it on like a toy that she would get me. And then she'd be like, "Eres bella, you're beautiful," right? I think that's what we need to teach our youth, that they are beautiful, they have worth. You don't need to grow up in poverty and stay in poverty, because generations after generations, that is what has been happening. And the more we try to tell us, "Oh, well, maybe we'll move into the suburbs and like live in these nice houses," well, guess what? Those nice houses are now getting a little bit uglier because white flight. We need to realize that we can better our community so that we don't need to travel elsewhere. We need to realize that beauty starts from within and then it spreads.
Yes,
because
ma'am.
If that little queen right there knows that she's a queen and knows that she's beautiful, I bet you that the next girl that looks at her will also think she's beautiful. You guys ever see someone and maybe they're not attractive to you physically, but you see them smile and you're just like, "Wow, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous." That's what we need to teach our youth, that it's not just your exterior, it's not just where you live, it's how you value yourself, where you know you're going, not where you want to be.
All right. All right. Wrap us up, brother.
Keep my answer short and sweet. But what I teach the youth is how to educate themselves. It's one thing to be told something, but it's another thing where you can take that information and then just bury it in your mind where it becomes a part of you. So it's like most people say, practice makes perfect. If you can do, that's true. Like if you can repeat, if you can do certain thing repetitive times to where it's a master, where you can just do it automatically, then you can figure things out. So if you can teach yourself not only to take information and use it, but also to research the information because not, as everyone knows, not all information is true information. So if you can research it and make sure it's true, or figure out something that you've always wanted to know, then your life's pretty much complete.
All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is just change it just a little bit. And if you have a statement to the young people, statement. So I saw a hand in the audience, I thought also. Statement? Can you make a statement? A statement? Okay, wonderful.
First of all, I was getting ready to say that. That's right. See, great minds think alike. You all are awesome. And this doesn't just need to be on CPTV. This needs to be on CNN and Fox News and all of that. what I would like to say to you all is, as you're seeing one of your peers, and they're going down a road that might not be the right road. Either they're going because that's their choice, or because they've been guided down that road by someone else. I would encourage you to give them another option, to suggest something different. No one likes to be told what to do all the time, especially young adults. And that's great that you're forging your own road, and you're looking at what other people have done, and you're making it better and making it your own. But I would encourage you to give a suggestion. Hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you, I want to invite you to this event or that event, or tell them, because a lot of, I'm a product of, well, not the Hartford Public School systems. I went to, both of my schools are now done. I went to Cathedral St. Joseph and South Catholic, and no, those schools are not here anymore. But it's great to come back and to see this. It's great to come back and to hear you all. But give a suggestion. Say, come on, I want to invite you here. Just come on and try it. Because so many people think that, oh, you're giving up so much, but you're not. You're gaining so much. And just like you all talked about freedom and the opportunities, everybody doesn't have that opportunity. So I encourage you, for that person, just bring them with you.
All right, family. We're going to come to a close with our youth panel. We want to thank Brother Tariq, Ms. Joyce, Ms. Vicky, and Brother Raphael. Let's thank them with a warm round of applause.